Well, let's stay with this story. Zola Sholwana is in Soweto for the latest for us. Zola, good afternoon to you. Let's talk through where things are at the moment. Is there still panic on the ground with the deadline fast approaching? Is midnight still the cut-off time?
Well, we are outside Deep Kloof, Xoli, and I'm sure you're able to see behind me that there is literally no one at this point. The last time we saw residents make their way in was about 30 minutes ago, and it's been a tedious process, a long day for both Eskom officials and also residents that have had to, queue in these lines since the beginning of this week. We understand that they are waiting. In fact, right now they're wrapping things up because gates have been closed. By the look of things, they are not taking anyone in at this point, meaning they are done for today. And from tomorrow, we are told that they will be dealing with those that have issues with their meters, those that have connected illegally, those that have bridged their electricity, and so on. But for the latest updates, let's speak to the Eskom Gauteng spokesperson, Amanda Gritty. Amanda, thank you very much for your time. What's the latest, on the ground? We see that gates are closed now. Does it mean that you're done for the day?
So we have served the last of our customers. We still have a few customers that are inside, and we don't see any more that are coming. I know in the office, Zola, and in Mapetla, there were no customers that were left in those two offices as well. So I guess we're going to be calling it a day, unless there are customers who are still obviously purchasing electricity and recoding their meters themselves, because customers are able to do that.
It's been a tedious week, so much frustration that we saw from residents who have been complaining that they felt like Eskom was not, communicating and coordinating the process. Some have had to sleep here, some were turned back. What were the issues that you picked up throughout the week?
I think some of the issues that we were picking up is that there were customers who were coming to our offices and yet their meters had been recorded, and there are customers who had also even received the SMSs confirming that their meters had been recorded, but you would still find that they'd been here. The biggest issue and the challenge that we've been experiencing is these customers who had not been purchasing electricity for the longest time. So what we're finding is that those customers, obviously, they have not been buying electricity, so their key change tokens have not been generated. So what we've been saying to those customers, go and buy electricity so that they can get the key change tokens, and then they can be able to upgrade their meters. So we have been sending a number of customers back to go and purchase electricity so that they can get then the key change tokens generated in order for the meters to be recoded.
We heard some that were sent to go back and buy tokens, that there's an issue with actually loading those tokens. What causes that?
So it's the majority of those customers, it's the ones whose meters have been bypassed. So they are purchasing electricity now, and then when they want to load it, they are not loading. So that is the biggest issue. So we were trying to resolve those issues so that we create the key change tokens, and then they can be able to load the tokens that they've received.
The biggest question that's currently being asked is that where to from here? What happens tomorrow?
So tomorrow we are going to be dealing with those customers whose meters have been bypassed, those customers who say their meters have been broken, or they've lost their meters, or their meters are not operating anymore. So those are the customers we will be attending to. So all those customers who are saying that their meters have not been working, or they're broken or damaged, they need to then go to our offices so that we can assist them and make sure that we register them, and then we get them new meters so that to replace the ones that they say they've either lost or they are damaged or they've bypassed their meters, and then we move forward.
There's an elderly lady that I spoke to earlier on at Zola who said she was told to make payment of about 500 Rand monthly until it gets to 6,000 Rand. Did you give, such instructions to some users?
So you'd remember, Zola, even going back, there are customers who, when we conduct our audits and we pick up that those customers had bypassed their meters, we had issued them with fines. But because those customers were not able to pay the 6,000 Rands up front, we made a payment arrangement so that they could at least pay the 500 Rands every month. So those are the amounts that they're referring to say that they have been paying the 500 Rands, which is part of the fines that we had issued them because they bypassed their meters, and we also saw that they were buying electricity from ghost vendors. So ghost vendors is basically those vendors who are selling electricity illegally. They are not approved to be selling electricity.
Throughout the week, especially at Zola, we heard some of the residents alleging that there were people that were offering to sell them tokens. Are those Eskom officials or it's illegal vendors?
So it's not Eskom. I mean, at this point, we don't have any officials that are selling, and no one is supposed to be actually charging the customers to recode meters. Recoding of meters is free. The only thing that customers are supposed to do is just go buy electricity, you get your key change tokens, and then you upgrade your meter. So it's a self-service process that you're doing. You don't need to pay for it. So if there's anyone who is charging somebody to recode their meter, that is not something that it's not charged to record for meter. It's for free.
Okay. Understanding that you'll be continuing from tomorrow assisting those that have issues with their meters, what are we going to have the same situation where people will be flocking in numbers? What time are you going to be closing your offices or your sites?
We shouldn't be having a lot of customers that are coming through, because remember, the customers that we are dealing with now is customers who've lost their meters, or they say their meters got burnt or damaged. So the numbers should definitely not be as much as the ones that we're querying in terms of if their meters have been recoded or not. So the numbers should not be as high. And the operating hours, I think it's our normal operating hours, 8 till 4:30. So those would be the hours that we're talking about.
Thank you very much, Amanda Greti, who is the Eskom spokesperson in Gauteng, Xoli, basically telling us about a way forward, what's going to be done from tomorrow going forward, because what we could pick up throughout the week was that so many residents were confused, and those who were unable to come here because their meters were bypassed or they had issues with them, they didn't know where they stand at this point. They were panicking, in fact, worried that they will have to buy new meters or pay that 12,000 Rand fine that we heard about. But you heard her say that from tomorrow they will be assisting those people. But fortunately, we won't be seeing crowds like we have seen in the past week, where there's been a death that has been reported in one of the Eskom sites in Orlando, where the elderly are complaining about standing in long queues. That entire process is at least complete for now. Back to you in studio.
Zola Sholwana, thank you very much. Live for us there in Soweto.